Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to League Review. I'm your host, William, and unfortunately, I thought I was going to fix my Streamlabs, but doesn't look like it fixed it. So we're going to open here real quick, and then now we will start the podcast. We are doing the LPL podcast a day late today, unfortunately, because of Evo. Yesterday was quite crazy with League for NA going to 3 straight tiebreakers at the end of... hang on, I think I'll come out. But 3 straight tiebreakers at the end of the day, so it was an 8-game day, and then right into that, I was going to do the podcast early, but unfortunately I couldn't because of that. And then Evo started, and if you've been watching for a long time, you know that Smash is, I haven't talked about it in a while, but Smash is my second favorite esport by far. And yeah, I went to Frostbite back in February. But yeah, so I was watching Evo, and by the time Evo ended at 1:20ish a.m., I'm like, don't got time for a podcast. Got work tomorrow. So yeah, we're gonna be doing the LPL podcast today, and then pretty much right after this, I'm going to jump in and do the NA podcast as well. So without further ado, since we have 2 podcasts to do today, let's get right into the LPL. Summer 2019. We're gonna do what we did the last time and use the Gamepedia because I think it flows a little smoother because Google's kind of messed up sometimes. All right. So we had some crazy games. Also I did make these predictions. I don't have them on the screen here, but I do have them on Discord. I will prove it with Ryan. Let me just scroll up a bit, but I did make my predictions already, and I did not pick the big upset that we had today of Team WE or not team, Victory 5 actually winning against Snake or LNG. Sorry, they're pretty much Snake at this point. It was has not been good whatsoever. All right, here we go. Here's proof, by the way. Yesterday at 10:59 p.m. Snake or Sunning over OMG 2-0, LNG over Victory 5 2-0 as well. So I did make those predictions before, and unfortunately they didn't work out. They weren't clean. But before we won't even bother about those yet because that's this week. We'll do that next week's podcast. This week's podcast, talk quickly. Top Esports absolutely crushed Victory 5 in the first game of this week, and that was pretty much expected. Definitely something that everyone would assume would happen, I would say. RNG, actually, I thought this series between RNG and Sunning was fairly close, sorta. It wasn't like neck and neck, but I thought Sunning was putting up a decent fight for RNG until later on this week. Had only lost like 1 game in the last or 1 series since like the beginning of June. So like Sunning definitely put up a really good fight. I thought so. But it just wasn't enough. They just got simply out talented at the end. Team WE versus Vici Gaming. Oh my God, Vici Gaming. They looked good in game one, fell apart. Looked good in game two, looked really good in game two, and then got backdoored at the end. They couldn't get back in time. They like won. I believe it was a Gangplank or shoot, I don't remember who, but the top laner on Team WE was just ganking through or split pushing top. Vici Gaming took a fight and then tried to retreat and couldn't retreat because all their backs were being stopped, and it was depressing to say the very least. Oh, poor Vici, man. Vici's always had a very rough life, I feel like. They never. Vici fans struggle. Hey, DMO. They won 2-0 in their series against LGD. They look damn good doing it. And I'm telling you, DMO, they're. Especially, we're not going to talk about it, but this week, they are a half a game out of 8th place now to make the playoffs. And Team WE is also really hot, but they're on a 4-game winning streak at the moment. And LNG is on a 4-game losing streak. So they're definitely much hotter than LNG at the moment, I would say. Well, maybe it can continue, maybe not, but we will see. Actually, yeah, I'm going to put them in this way. No, I can't do that. I can't use the LNG loss for this one from Victory 5 into consideration. That's not how power rankings go. EDG didn't look very clean against OMG. OMG actually was winning these games for quite a bit, and them pulling them off was very very strong. Like I was very impressed by OMG, but the EDG at the end of the day were just much better team fighters in the late game, and honestly, kind of expected with OMG as they are not the best team. They're definitely the worst team in my opinion. For I know they're ahead of Beachy Gaming by a series, but man, OMG is who are OMG? Didn't they beat like IG or something like that? No, they beat Rogue Warriors and Team WE. They beat IG like last split or something. They had a massive upset at some point. Wasn't this split? Maybe last split. But yeah, they lost to EDG. They played pretty well. Fun Plus Phoenix rolled over LNG completely. I mean, just like LNG looks really, really bad. And we did talk about this back in like week 3, week 4, how sustainable is this? And I'm pretty sure we all agreed that it wasn't that sustainable. But I don't think we agreed on a 4 straight loss streak here, and it doesn't look like it gets much better. It gets much better. I lied. It gets much, much better. They get to face VG Gaming next. You thought it would look much better with them beating Victory 5, so not the case. Sunning destroyed Victory 5. I thought Victory 5 was completely done for the rest of the year after this game. Rogue Warriors. This was my first upset, actually. Yeah, let's talk about this. I had a 9-game uh, I had a 7-game winning streak with almost perfect game predictions as well. I was cruising along, and then JDG just gets destroyed to Rogue Warriors. It's quite unfortunate. The games were close, to be fair, but Rogue Warriors definitely pulled that. I'm impressed somewhat by them. Their season's probably is definitely over at 4-7. Not like Dominius is 5-7, clearly still in the playoff hunt. But yeah, Rogue Warriors' season's probably over at 4-7. But taking down JDG, that's gonna really cripple the Cinderella spring split Cinderella trying to get a playoff spot themselves. Uh, Next, we had Dominius Gaming just beating up on OMG again, or I should say they're just beating up on OMG. OMG lost 4-0 this week, but also expected. DMO is now the hottest team, tied with no, they are just the hottest team in all of China. 4-game winning streak after starting the season 1-7. You thought the season was over? Probably still is, considering the games they have to play. But damn, if they didn't give it their best shot, honestly, three series left in the year, or I should say, you only have 7 series left, and you're 1-7. You're pretty much calling it quits on the year. But they are trying, man. So I give them mad respect for that. One of the greatest series to watch was next with RNG and Top Esports. This one was, I thought, except for game number 3 for Top Esports, was a very, very close series. Like, this was really good. I thought that I was very surprised with how well how well Knight was able to even play through with Karsa in Xiaohu. And Knight just showed that he is that good. And the rest of Top Esports also stepped up tremendously against World Not to Give Up. It's a fantastic series. And now, honestly, if I'm being honest, these are by far the best 3 teams. And IG is looking like the 4th team out at the moment I would say, for Worlds. They probably will still get there. Just maybe. They're only a game out of... hell, they're a half game. No, that's 1 game, right? No. 2... That's a game and a half. Okay, they're a game and a half out of missing the playoffs, but that's pretty damn close. like if they stumble because going to the next team, Team WB beat LGD 2-0, but Billy came out swinging against IG, and they won the first game. They did lose the second game, but they won the third game as well, and that was very impressive by Billy, and I'm so happy for them because that should seal Billy for. They have LGD and Rogue Warriors this week. Should probably be 2 victories. Then they have RNG at the end, but 2 more victories if they can get them. Like, destiny is in their hands. 10 wins will easily get them into playoffs. Hell, they only need 1 of those wins to go through, and they probably have clinched playoffs. So, Billy, Good job. They didn't choke away this season like they did last season at the end. I'm very impressed. IG, on the other hand, I knew going into this game that IG was going to lose, by the way, because I was sitting pretty. Look at this. Seven wins, 7-1, 8-1, 9-2. Or, no. So 8, 9. Yeah, yeah, 9. So it's 8-1, 9-2 with the one game left. I'm like, all right, is this the week I finally get over this 9-3? If you take a look, week 8, 9-3, week 7, 9-3, week 6, 4-2, week 5, 9-3. So every week since week 4, and then another 9-3 there. So since week 5, so every week since the 24th of June, which is 6 weeks ago, I've gone 9-3, except for this 4-2, which was during only a 6-game split or week, whatever. But yeah, pretty much been dominating the LPL with my predictions, which are currently 67-27, by the way. By far. Don't look at NA. Ignore my NA. I don't even know if I went above 50% in NA. I have to recalculate that for the podcast in a little bit. But LPL, stomping on people. I got a very good finger on the pulse here of this league, except when it comes to IG. IG cost me it here. IG cost me it here. IG cost me it by winning against Fun Plus Phoenix here. IG cost me it here. Notice how it's always the last game of this thing too, every single time, except for this one, which they were not, but they were still IG winning, IG. They're just killing me this split. They're looking pretty shaky, to be honest. And that's why for the power ranking, let's go over here. Fun Plus Phoenix is still number 1. Top after their victory against RNG has to go up to number 2. Very good team. I'm very excited to see both these teams hopefully make worlds. Get some recognition around the world that may not be following the LPL. RNG drops to number 3 just because of the loss. It was a very close match between them and top. Unfortunately, that they did lose it, but I think they're still a very, very solid team. Still top 10 team in the world easily, possibly even top 5 team. Yeah, I'd honestly say they're a top 5 team in the world. Probably SKT's scooted up there in G2 as well. Billy has moved all the way up to number 4th for me, in my opinion, in the LPL, which is quite crazy after that victory over IG. This Billy team is very under the radar solid. I don't think they're at the elite level that Fun Plus Phoenix, Top, and RNG are, and that IG has shown that they can be, but they are very, very, like, they're discount RNG, but they're not that. They're on sale RNG more so. Discount RNG doesn't really, it's too harsh on them now. In Spring Split, yes, you could have said that, but like Billy's like the other brand value, the almost equal brand value, maybe a little bit of a sale on it, and it's pretty good. They're showing some really good strength again after the split, which is good because them losing, what was it, their last 4 series of the year, or they won one, but they lost like 4 or 5 or something like that to end the year and just slipped all the way from, I believe they were in 3rd place all the way to 9th, and that was very depressing. Sunning drops to number 5 with their lost RNG. They did get a nice solid win against Victory 5 as well. So the only reason they mostly drop, I would have probably kept them at 4th, but they're going to drop all the way to 5th. Actually, was Sunning 4th or 5th last time? They might have been 5th last time. I think IG I had at 4th. No, I didn't. I had Sunning ahead of IG. So yeah, they're going to drop the 5th. And unfortunately for Sunning, it was just mainly because Billy was just beat IG as well. So you lost RNG. Billy won their big matchup. It's fair is fair. They're both tied in the standings. Also, another great story of a team that didn't make playoffs, should have made playoffs, but they don't even have Bew up top anymore. They use Angel, their backup, as their top laner, and they're just going double mid lane, and it is actually working really, really well for Sunny. It worries me that it might not be able to keep up, but like at the moment, why not go for it? If it's your best 2 players, it's your best 2 players. IG drops to number 6. I almost wanted to put him number 7, but I still think that they could probably beat EDG. EDG's been way too inconsistent for me. Not to say IG hasn't been inconsistent. Look at IG has against teams that currently aren't in the playoffs. They're 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, 3-3. They're 3-3 against teams that aren't in the playoffs. So they're actually 4-2 against these top teams here, but like their losses and hell the other one, 4 of their 5 losses our teams are in 8th place or lower. Their only loss to a team that is higher ranked than them is actually, who was it? It was Fun Plus Phoenix and EDG. They've lost one, two, no, they beat both of those. Was Billy Billy. Billy Billy was their only loss to a team that's ahead of them in the standings. So it's kind of crazy that they keep dropping all these games to the lower end teams where they have beaten EDG, they have taken down Sunning, they have taken down Fun Plus Phoenix as well. Like they've taken these teams all down, but for some reason when it comes to, I mean, I guess IG has 4 fun games. We know this, but it's just it's not the same. Like it's definitely it doesn't feel the same, and I think anyone that's watched LPL can tell you that they look very sloppy and they look like they're getting beaten on the plays that before they would look invincible on. EDG has moved up number 7, just a solid win against OMG. It wasn't the best win, it wasn't the best team to face, but they did their job that they were supposed to do, and that is all you can ask them to do. Team WE also moved up. Team WE is one of the hottest teams in the league at the moment with 3 straight wins now. A win against LGD and VG Gaming are 2 not very strong teams that they have faced, but I still think that's enough. Hang on one second. But LNG is still not the. I don't think. Alright, sorry. Team WE, I think, is going to be better than LNG at the end of the day. Like this is a 7 game or 3.5 game switch. Like they were 3-7, they were 6-3. Like LNG was looking great, but they've just fallen off. Let's see, they've lost to Fun Plus Phoenix. That's acceptable. Victory 5 is not acceptable loss for them. And then they also lost to Top Esports, which is acceptable in RNG. So really, the losses are the teams that they should be losing to. However, LNG losing to Victory 5 is the big problem. Did them losing those 3 straight games to the 3 best teams in the league really shake their mentality? It might have, and I'm kind of worried because, I mean, it went 2-1, but they didn't look great in the final game as well. I only caught a little brief bit of it, but that is next week. This week, but next week, you know what I mean. Not a fan. I think that Team WE or Dominion is definitely going to leapfrog LNG, and LNG is going to be one of the teams out of playoffs. I still can't say that IG is going to be out of playoffs, but they're testing the waters here, and it's not pretty. Same with EDG. EDG, both of these teams really need to shape up, or they're going to miss playoffs, or it's going to be another early exit for EDG and an early exit for IG for like the first time in a while. Nope, don't know what just happened there. Blitz just decided to load up. Interesting. Weird. But next, let's talk our Dominions. We got Dominions at number 10, Rogue Warriors at number 11. Both of them are on. Well, Rogue Warriors is only on a 1-game winning streak, but they did just beat JDG, so that's why I had to drop JDG down. Dominions has won 4 games in a row, as we were talking about. This is my team. They've been in the gutter for so long. I'm actually really happy to see them up top. I don't know how long they'll be staying up there, but because they have to face RNG this week, and then Victory 5 next, and then Fun Plus Phoenix to end the season. So it's probably Dominions' hope. They're definitely not going to beat RNG. I'm just going to flat out say that right now. Spoiler for my predictions. They're not going to beat RNG. However, they should beat Victory 5, which puts them at 6-8, and then they gotta hope that Fun Plus Phoenix is sealed first place. So in doing so, because Fun Plus Phoenix plays against Top in the very last game of the entire year, absolutely amazing for me. I almost don't even want to see Dominions win just because I want to see this game matter for the very end of the season. Who gets first? That's like a big playoff game at the very end, and I'll be super looking forward to that. However, if Dominions can win this, and let's see, Top, has EDG. If Top can lose to EDG this week and then basically get themselves mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, then they won't be because Top Esports gets 2 games like that. Darn it. No, well. Oh well. Dominius is not going to make playoffs unless they pull a miracle and take down either RNG or Fumbles Phoenix. And GG moved in, and then the rest of them, the bottom 4, are the bottom 4 for a reason. Though Victory 5 might move up a little bit after this next week. But with that, let's go straight into predictions. I don't have set up. I do have the first 2 predictions already made, and we can mark them as well for wrong and right. But not completely right. So already off to a little bit of shaky start. Oopsies. Didn't mean to get rid of my own name there in game prediction. There we go. Delete. And there. Okay, so let's pull this up to here. Here. Okay. So week 10. No, we're in week 11 now. I think I said week 10 on my thing. My bad. It's supposed to be week 11. No, it's week 10. It's week 10. Nice. I'm losing it. Just because it says week 10's already 2 games done, so I got a little confused. I totally picked Victory 5 to win this one 2-1. No, no, I had a 2-0 for LNG. I also had Sunning taking 2-0 against OMG, but that didn't. So that one is wrong, unfortunately. This one is correct, however, it is not perfect as we did not get the game score right. Next, I have Rogue Warriors versus Billy. I think Billy's strong. I think they're not gonna fall into the same issue that they did last split, and they're gonna take Rogue Warriors will take a game, but Billy will take a win and most likely pretty much seal a playoff spot, which will be very exciting for them as they missed the playoffs in heartbreaking fashion last split. And speaking of heartbreak, we got my Dominions Gaming going against RNG. RNG's coming off a loss. Maybe they're shaky, right? No. I think Dominions' season, their win streak, their season, my hopes and dreams all end in honor of them. I will give them a win against RNG. Let me just tell you, that will be the reddest of red in full glory if Dominions wins tomorrow. I will be so happy with them. Don't think it'll happen, but, you know, we're trying out here. Next, we have Vici Gaming versus LNG. And LNG should get this win. I'll give it 2-1. Vici should have had that 2-1 typical situation against Team WE, so they didn't get that. So I think they'll be right back on track. 2-1. If LNG loses this game to Vici Gaming, not only is there hope for Dominions, but LNG will. I will absolutely kick LNG out of the playoffs at that point. If you have Vici Gaming on the schedule this late and you're still in the playoffs, you're thanking the Lord, because like you are absolutely destroying Vici Gaming. This is as big of a freebie as you can get, and the fact that you're currently in the playoffs right now, even though with that loss they're 6-7, currently in the playoffs because I believe they had the victory over Team WE, right? Team WE, LNG, yes. So they have the tiebreaker over Team WE. That's why they're in playoffs. And you have 2 games left, and one of them is Vici Gaming. You can't get much better than that. And then you have Sunning, which is a very winnable. It's a hard game, but it's not a total loss like the other 3. JDG versus LGD. JDG will win this one. They're fighting for their playoff lives as well. I think LGD's basically just collapsed since the whole Condi scandal thing with win trading. So unfortunately for them, this season has just been a total lost season, and they're not mathematically out of it, but they're pretty much mathematically out of it. Are they not mathematically out of it? I guess not, because OMG and VG Gaming are, but like. They feel like 2-9 should be, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. They'll be mathematically out of it by the end of this week, for sure. Team WE versus Rogue Warriors. Team WE is looking really hot right now. I'll give Rogue Warriors another win though. I think they'll get 2 wins this week. None of them will come up for a series win, but they're playing much better. The way they played against JDG was quite impressive. This team is still very young. Can't expect too much for them this split, but watch out for them possibly in spring split of next year. With a lot more time to develop together, this team could be a playoff team, I would say. They have that raw talent there. EDG over Vici. This one will be a 2-1 because EDG. Honestly, if EDG loses to Vici, it would not surprise me as well, just because EDG likes to drop random games like that. But I think Vici is just not. I don't think Vici has enough in them to take down EDG. Said that, but they almost did it against IG. Billy should be able to take down LGD. I think that, like I just said previously, LGD is just not in the correct. Like, they gotta wait for next year. This season was a wash once Condi had that scandal. I think this one would be a 2-0. Ooh, the next 3 games, all of them can argue play or game of the week for all 3. And I think it's probably the next one, Sunday versus Fun Plus Phoenix, will be game of the week. But I will give this one over to RNG and IG. I think that RNG is going to take down IG here. I just think that RNG usually has IG's number. In the way RNG's playing lately compared to the way IG's playing, I don't think I'd give them a 2-1 because IG will probably play up to it, and they've only lost, like we said, 1 game to teams above them in the standings. They're having a very weird year in that regard, but they just called up the new rookie jungler. I forgot his name off the top of my head, but to replace Ning, so you might get some stage fright facing off against Karsa. Karsa might be able to abuse the rookie pretty bad. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that. Fun Plus Phoenix over Sunning. I think that Fun Plus Phoenix is the best team in the world at the moment. So even though I like Sunning a lot, I don't think they could handle them at the moment, at this time. And finally, Top Esports versus EDG. I think Top Esports, I think that Scout is one of the significant parts of EDG getting ahead. There is no shot for Scout to get ahead against Knight, in my opinion. I can't see it happening whatsoever. So I think that Top is actually going to 2-0 EDG there. And as long as EDG beats Vici, though, they should still be fine. But if they lose somehow that miracle of Vici, they could be looking him. But IG's got to be careful. IG's only game is against RNG this week, and then they have Rogue Warriors and LGG next week. So I would say like free wins, but we just talked about how they're 3-3 against all the teams that aren't in the playoffs. So those teams are also not in the playoffs, and they're both going to be probably mathematically eliminated by the end of this week. So maybe IG better be careful. You never know. But these are predictions. That's for week 10. We're already 1-1 on the week, so we're probably not gonna get a 3-gamer or 9-3. Though I will say, just in week 8, I lost 2 of the first 3, and still was able to come back with the 9-game victories. But with that will be the podcast for the LPL. Sorry it's a little short, I know, but unfortunately, Evo, biggest fighting term, but I only care about Smash, was yesterday, and I just really did not want to miss that one live. Blame LCS for having 3 tiebreakers that I had to watch through as well, which were kind of exciting. I'm depressed that Golden Guardians missed the playoffs, but everything else worked out exactly the way I wanted it to, so we'll be talking about that. I was going to say tomorrow, but we're really going to be talking about that in the next few minutes once Brian gets on. So anyway, thank you guys for coming to watch the LPL podcast. I'll upload this to YouTube and pretty much immediately give me like 10, 20 minutes from now, and we'll get right back on for the NA podcast. So see you in a bit.